Here's an update for my pattern designer project that I have going on. So last time, I believe, was me updating on the curriculum that I was writing for pattern designers. This was kind of the first step because I knew that I wanted to create a program, a beta program for people to join. So I started with the curriculum just to give myself a framework of, these are the strategies that I want to cover. These are things that I think will help pattern designers sell more patterns. So that's where I started off. I talked about the curriculum in that last video, which you should watch if you haven't. And then I had some people review it and I got some feedback on it. And ultimately, we ended up going forward with the curriculum that I wrote out because the strategies were there. It was going to be helpful. And I was pretty confident that this would help people sell more patterns. So that ended up being good. Then the next step was building out the actual program that I was going to be offering with this curriculum because all I had was just the idea. These are things we're going to be talking about. So let's go over this program that I designed. So with this program, I decided to go for something that was a beta program because I still need to go through and test these strategies. I need to work with actual pattern designers, and I'm actually working with some tutorial designers as well, and have them test the ideas that I have. Because everyone can have ideas, everyone can think this is a great idea, but until you actually put it to practice, you don't know. So that's why I wanted to start off with a beta program, because I wanted to offer something where I could have a whole bunch of people join and could test what I have going on. And I also wanted it to be accessible for the people who would be joining because it's going to be growing as we do things in this program. It's not anything official yet. So beta program was the idea. And instead of having it be some sort of subscription membership thing that would last forever, I decided to go for a 6-month program. This is a program that will run for 6 months. By the end of the 6 months, it is done. And then whatever the next thing is will be the next thing and isn't necessarily connected with this beta program. I decided to have it be a 6-month commitment. And during those 6 months, we are going to be going over the curriculum that I designed. And I already had the idea of making it 6 months when I was thinking about the curriculum. So I had the 6 topics. I wrote out this whole, kind of sales page thing for it. It was actually really interesting to do that. I did basically a who, what, when, where, why, and how type of thing, which was really fun to fill out because it was the first time I had really put down what I was wanting to do onto paper. So that was really fun. And with this program, we are basically covering a topic a month, and I am really, really excited. We're going to be doing bi-weekly calls. I'm going to be also doing some lives in the group with some special guests and also, just going live covering different topics based off of the Zoom calls that we do. I'm also going to be maybe doing some design challenges in this group as well because I want people to be making patterns and tutorials and stuff while we are running the group. And I thought, if we do something with designing, that would be really fun and cool. So why not do that? So that's in the plans as well. I want to, do some little mini challenges to help incentivize people to do the actions. But the whole idea around this program is accountability to do the thing. It's really easy to say, I do want to start selling patterns. I do want to make this into my main business. I don't know where to start. I don't know, what to do. Things are holding me back. And, it's easy to just let the can get kicked down the road. So this program is to give accountability so that people are accountable. They, paid to be in the program. They have to then show up, or at least, there's the whole idea is for them to then show up. But, you're paying for it to then show up for that side of the business and start taking the actions. We are going to be doing weekly check-ins to make sure hey, are you doing the things that you said that you would? Making sure that we are there to also support them. I'm going to be there to support them. So any issues that they have when it comes to, doing stuff with their website or doing certain things on social media or Facebook, I'm there to help and support them. So this is really just accountability. Let's actually get this done in this 6 months. And I'm super excited about that. That was the program, and then it came to launching it, which I did in steps. I first reached out to people I had already interviewed previously when I had this idea for helping pattern designers. So I reached out to them first to offer it. I ended up selling like 3 of the slots, which, by the way, I don't know if I actually mentioned this. There were only 12 slots available for this beta program because I wanted to work with the designers one-on-one. I wanted to have the time to give everyone like the attention and, help that they needed for this. And I didn't really want that many people. So I put a maximum limit of 12 people in the program because at that amount I would be happy, and I would be able to work with each person. So again, let's go through. I launched it. I reached out to people I'd talked to previously. I sold about 3 slots with that. The next thing that I did was reach out to people on my email list that I had sign up previously that said that they were interested in selling patterns. So I reached out to those people, and I think I might have sold like 2 from that list, I believe. And then I actually went live in our handmade group, the one that I'm a coach in, to basically do this whole presentation about selling your knowledge versus a physical product, which is the whole thing about being a pattern designer. You're selling your knowledge and your skill and the information that you have about the craft that you are doing. So I did a whole live basically on selling knowledge. It's actually on the YouTube channel. You can go watch that. And I think I got 2 or 3 people who signed up on that, which was awesome. I did some further promotion in the handmade group. I sent more emails out to our general email list, along with the people who were interested in patterns before. So I did a bunch of stages, and by the end, I sold 9 out of the 12 slots, which I am very pleased about. I honestly didn't really want to fill all 12. There's advantages that you have more people. Not everyone's always going to show up to every call and all of that. So, I would have liked to fill all 12, but, I'm happy with 9. That's a good group of people, and I get to work with them, again, a little bit more closer. I get to help them a little bit more personally and more one-on-one, because there are fewer people. So super, super excited about that. So that's how the whole launch went. This is the first time I've launched a program thing like this that I've done. My previous businesses have been physical businesses or didn't have an actual launch that would go along with it. So this was definitely very new than what I've done before. I only had about 2 weeks of publicly marketing it, which I would have liked to have more time. And I wasn't even able to use all the time due to some travel that was happening during that time. I would have liked to be able to do more there. But, the past is in the past. I can't really change that. And I'm still happy with how the launch went. So, whatever. Definitely make sure, though, if you are launching things, give yourself more time than just 3 weeks, or I guess 2 weeks, because it does time crunch a lot. So now that it's launched, the group is now closed. So it is April 2nd right now, and the group started on April 1st. Which, April Fool's Day, great day to start a whole program. It started yesterday, and these are my people. So I kind of want to go over who joined and what is kind of the first steps that we're doing here. So when I started this program, I didn't really have a niche that I was starting off with, which, if you don't know, niching down tends to be really beneficial because then you focus in on one person. But I don't know who I want to work with yet long term when it comes to pattern designers. So I kept this program a little bit looser on who would join. So I have both pattern makers who do PDF patterns, along with actual tutorial creators as well. So I do have a little bit of diversity in the group, and I have 2 people who crochet. One of them actually knits as well, but 2 people who crochet. One person who does macrame, another person who does needle felting. We also have sewing, we have cross stitch, we have machine embroidery, we have fluid art as well, which will be really interesting. And we also have someone who does beaded jewelry, but specifically these spiders. So those are the people we have in the group. And with the beaded spiders, fluid art, and what was the other one? And the needle felting. Had to look in my notes very quick. All of those are tutorial makers. That is the more common way their knowledge is delivered versus a PDF pattern or tutorial, which you can still do that as well, but the videos tend to be really helpful because it tends to be more visual steps that are happening. So the videos tend to do better. But we have a, mix of some people, and I'm really excited because the fact that we have so many people, I'm going to have to learn a lot of different strategies. And whatever niche I end up working with in, the official program that I create here, I know that I will be able to use all of this knowledge and things that I am accomplishing for everyone in that future niche because, I know that if I help tutorial makers, sell more tutorials, that will help with patterns. But if I help the pattern people sell more patterns and I work with tutorial makers, then I can help the tutorial makers. So it's going to give me a lot of ways to think about these types of businesses and a lot of different challenges and problems to solve, which I think will be super fun. And the first thing that I am doing in this program is doing one-on-one assessment calls with all of the people who join the program. And the reason I'm starting off with this is so that I can get an idea of what their goals are, what they're going into this program with, so like their assets and what tutorials and patterns have they already made or are they just starting, where they are stuck, and also to help them make a bit of a game plan. Because I am working with so many different creators, I can't standardize what I'm doing to help them. The person with the beaded spiders is going to be doing a much different strategy than the person with the crochet patterns because they're just different businesses. So these assessment calls have been a lot of figuring out the path forward for each person. And those have been going fantastic. I think I only have 1 or 2 more left that I need to do with people. I found it to be really fun so far because it's really interesting to sit down with people and get into what do they want? What do they want from this business? What are their goals? And also really, narrowing in on this is the thing that you want to do. Everyone who has joined this program, they are handmade sellers. They are people who sell their handmade products, finished handmade products already. And so far with all of them, it's just, I can't keep up with this side. I'm working all the time to create, and I want more time to have fun and design and play. And I want something that's a little bit more scalable. So it's been really interesting to hear that because that's exactly why I wanted to help pattern designers, is because I had a handmade business before, and I know how much energy and work and time goes into a handmade business to produce the amount of product to really make a good income. And the cool thing with pattern designers and tutorial creators and all of that is that it's scalable. When you make it once, you sell it 1,000 times, and it usually isn't any extra effort on your side besides marketing it. So that's a huge reason I wanted to work with pattern designers, because it is a huge weight off your back when you don't have to put in all of this time and effort just to sell something that you are good at. It is a huge relief to go from a physical business where you have to create everything from hand and spend all of your time there to being able to have something that works with your lifestyle more. A pattern business is a lifestyle business because you could be on, a beach somewhere designing a pattern if you wanted to. Or you could just be at the beach with no worries, knowing that you're still making sales because you've built up a whole ecosystem and a whole marketing plan to do it for you with no extra work on your end to then enjoy vacations without having to worry about it. So I love that, and I'm so excited. And another one that's come up during these assessments as well is the fact that people don't know where to start with the marketing for it. And this is the reason I wanted to work with pattern designers, is because there's a lot more marketing with pattern designers. A handmade product, you can do quite a bit of marketing, but you do have a ceiling that you hit with your products. You can only make so much. So it's harder to do some of this more advanced marketing when it comes to email lists and ads and everything there, because if it goes viral, you can't make everything that you need to, versus a digital product, you can, because you don't need to make it every single time. So everyone so far has been really interested in the marketing strategies. How do I actually market this thing more? How do I sell it more? And I really do love marketing. I think it is a super cool skill. In my head, it all kind of fits together. And that's why I've loved being a coach so much, because I like approaching someone else's business, getting my hands in it and kind of making a plan of this is the path forward, this is the best path forward, this is how you get there, and, you know, aligning it also with what they want to do. So I'm so excited to get into all of that with this program, the marketing and the strategies, because that will be huge. It will be so huge. So these assessments have been amazing so far. There's been all kinds of ideas that I have that I didn't have before since the assessments. I have a plan for everyone so far and the path that I want them to start going down. And I also have been giving them action steps of these are the things that I want you to focus on in the first month to start making progress forward. And these action steps are designed for them specifically versus, you know, the things that we're going to be talking about in the program with the calls and everything. It's not designed for them, but it helps give them a lens to filter what we're going to be talking about through and lets them just, you know, start taking their actions that pushes them forward based on where they are at, which is also important because in this program we have some people who are just starting who haven't made a pattern yet but want to do this. And a lot of their goals tend to be, you know, I have patterns by the end of the 6 months and I'm making a little bit of money off of it. Their goals usually aren't as big. But then we have some people who are further along who have much bigger goals. Like I would like to be making $1,000 or at least doubling my pattern income here. And, you know, having consistency behind the sales as well. So it's really fun to have a variety of people starting off at different points because then I get the experience of helping people where they're at. So I get to help the people who are just starting and also the people with some experience. And I think it's interesting as well because then they can help each other in different ways. And because they also are in a whole bunch of different niches and different arts and stuff, they can also help each other. And it gives just more diversity in the stuff that we're going to be talking about and the advice that's going to be given. So yeah, I don't know. I'm so excited. This is a little bit of a rambly update, especially at the end, because I am really just excited. This is the first program like this that I am doing. I've been so excited to be working with pattern designers specifically for like 6 months now. This has been like 6 months in the making, and I am finally at the point that I'm able to run this beta program and start actually working with people, and I am beyond excited for that. So I will definitely be doing more updates as I am doing more in this program after different calls. I want to talk about like the wins that happen. I want to talk about the problems that come up, the struggles that happen, and really get into it because, you know, this is going to be pretty awesome. I'm just so excited for this whole program, and I can't wait to bring you along on my journey. So if you want to stay updated with what I'm doing here and, you know, my whole pattern designer program, feel free to subscribe to my channel and also like this video so that you see more. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. Bye.